Ready?
Aduh, oke oke oke.
Oke.
Oke, selamat malam semuanya.
Malam,
Malam,
Kak.
malam, Kak.
Bagi teman-teman yang baru gabung,
Gabung.
kenalin ya, nama aku Fazrina Arnidia, biasa dipanggil Kak Nindi, nama belakang aku. Aku ngajar literasi bahasa Inggris sama bahasa Indonesia. Aku tutor yang kemungkinan kalian akan sering ketemu ya. Jadi kalian jangan bosan-bosan nanti ketemu aku. Oke. Aku tadi udah umumin tugas kalian sebelum dimulai. Seperti biasa, kalian literasi dulu. Terus dikerjakan tugasnya. Nanti aku panggil satu-satu untuk aku panggil dan sebutkan tugasnya. Oke. Apa udah ada yang ngerjain? Apa nih, Raisya jempol, berarti udah selesai.
Belum, Kak. Tadi dengerin kehapusan jadi nggak ngerjain.
Oh, oke. Aku kasih mungkin berapa ya? 5 menit cukup kali ya? 5 menit, aku kasih waktu 5 menit dari sekarang ya. Ya, teman-teman. Jangan dari sekarang. Tugasnya udah aku kasih di grup WhatsApp. Aku kasih link untuk bacaan literasi. Juga ada deskripsinya, gimana tugasnya kalian, harus apa. Jadi mohon dilihat. Oke, literasinya nggak terlalu panjang ya, teman-teman. Ada yang udah belum? Jangan lupa kehapusan pergi, jangan eh yang lain jangan off cam ya, tetap on cam ya, guys. Menghargai aku dan biar kelihatan juga kalian eh aktivitasnya ngapain nih. Karena jujur literasi agak mengantuk ya pelajarannya, jadi dipastikan tutor bisa ngeliat kalian, kegiatan kalian. Jadi tolong di on cam ya, di on cam kameranya, di on kan. Nggak terlalu panjang. Nggak kayak literasi bahasa Indonesia yang aku kasih ini. Apa ada yang mau baca sambil nungguin temennya? Dapa mau baca Dapa?
Boleh.
Nanti gantian aja Dapa, jangan semuanya.
Iya.
Sampai sini nih, sampai American Life.
Oke. Berarti dari judulnya aja ya.
Ya, tadi judul.
Poem. Trump's action could set precedent for authoritarian powers across the globe. With the seizure of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, Donald Trump has demonstrated more powerfully than ever his belief in the power of his will. Backed by raw U.S. military force on his orders, the U.S. has Maduro behind bars and now will run Venezuela. The U.S. president made the announcement in a remarkable news conference with enormous implication for U.S. foreign policy worldwide at his Florida club and residence. Mar-a-Lago, Trump said the U.S. would be in charge in Venezuela until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he said, had spoken to the Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, who had told him, "We'll do whatever you need." She, I think, was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice. Trump was light on detail. He said that we are not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have them. But does he believe that he can govern Venezuela by remote control? Will his demonstration that he will back words with military action praised lavishly at Mar-a-Lago by both Marco Rubio and the U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth be enough to reshape Venezuela and browbeat Latin American leaders into compliance? It sounded as if he believed something like that. The evidence is that it will not be easy or smooth. The representatives think that the International Crisis Group warned in October that the fall of Maduro could lead to violence and instability in Venezuela. The same month, the New York Times reported that defense and diplomatic officials in the first Trump administration had war game that might happen if Maduro fell. Their conclusion was the prospect of violent chaos as armed factions competed for power. The removal and incarceration of Nicolas Maduro is a remarkable accession of American military power. The U.S. assembled a massive armada and achieved its goal without losing a single American life.
Oke.
Panas
Thank you,
banget.
Yang lain? Ayo yang lain. Jangan lupa pesan kehoposan untuk selalu aktif. Boleh, Linda. Linda? Linda mau baca?
Dari video ini ya, Kak?
Kenapa?
Dari judulnya video itu ya, Kak?
Nah ini nih, Maduro had ignored.
Oh, oke. Maduro had ignored the will of the Venezuelan people by sweeping aside his own electoral defeat, and without question, his departure will be welcome. Apa nih?
Iya,
Welcome
welcome.
by many of its citizens, but the implication of the U.S. action will reverberate forward way beyond Venezuela's borders. The mood at the Mar-a-Lago news conference was triumphant as they celebrate what was apa ini, Kak?
Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly.
Gimana?
Udah, it's okay. Undoubtedly.
Undoubtedly, a
Okay.
textbook operation carried out by highly professional U.S. forces. The military operation is only the first stage. Americans' record of achieving regime change by force in the last 30 years is disastrous. The political follow-up is what makes or breaks the process. Iraq descended into a bloody pening
Catastrophe.
catastrophe
Okay.
after the U.S. invasion in
Catastrophe.
2003 in Afghanistan to decide, and billions of dollars worth of attempted nation building were swept away in days after the US pulled out in 2021. Neither country was its America backyard. Yet the ghost of intervention past in Latin America and the threat of others yet to come are scarcely more promising. Trump tried of a new nickname, the Don't Do Doctrine, for the declaration made by President James Monroe in apa ini?
1823.
823, warning other powers not to meddle in American spheres of influence in the Western Hemisphere. The Monroe Doctrine is a big deal, but we've superseded it by a lot. Trump said Mar-a-Lago, under our new national security strategy, America dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again. Sampai situ aja, Kak.
Wait. Oh ya, boleh. Terus aja. Sampai sini ya tadi? Question again. Sini ya tadi ya?
Ya, Kak.
Okay, aku deh yang lain. He said that the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, had to wash his ass after he told Fox News that something going to have to be done with Mexico. Cuba is undoubtedly also in the U.S. agenda, which is being driven by Rubio, whose parents are Cuban Americans. The U.S. has a long record of armed intervention in Latin America. I was in Haiti in 1994 when President Bill Clinton sent in 25 troops on 2 aircraft carriers to enforce regime change. Then the Haitian regime crumbled without a shot being fired. Far from ushering in a better future, the 30 years since then have been a period of almost unbroken misery for the Haitian people, Haiti is now a failed state dominated by armed gangs. Donald Trump talked of making Venezuela great again, but not about democracy. He dismissed the idea that the Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who won the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize, should lead the country. I think it'd be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support. She doesn't have the respect. He did not mention Edmundo Gonzalez, who many Venezuelans believe was the rightful winner of the 2024 elections. Instead, the U.S., for the time being anyway, is backing Maduro's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez. While there must have been some kind of international collusion that give the U.S. military the inside knowledge it needed to remove Maduro, the regime created by his predecessor, Hugo Chavez, appears to be intact. It is unlikely the Venezuelan armed force, despite any humiliation, its generals might fail about their inability to oppose the U.S. attack. Will express why with U.S. plans, the military and regional civilian supporters have enriched themselves through networks of corruption that they will not want to lose. Civilian militaries have been armed by the regime, and Venezuela has other armed groups. They include criminals network as well as Colombian guerrillas who backed the Maduro regime and returned to sanctuary. Oke, ada yang lanjut? Ayolah guys, aktif. Cuma sedikit kok.
Lanjut dari mana Kak sekarang?
Ini dari the US.
The US Oh, oke. Sampai mana Kak?
Ini. Ini sampai bawah sini.
Okay. The U.S. intervention in Venezuela brings into stark focus some of the wellsprings of Trump's worldview. He makes no secret of the way he covets the mineral wealth of other countries. He has already attempted to extract profit from Ukraine's natural resources in return for military assistance. Trump does not hide his desire to control Venezuela's huge mineral reserves, and his belief that U.S. oil companies were robbed when the oil industry was nationalized. We're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground, and that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela and people from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela, and it goes also to the United States of America in form reimbursement that will deepen the fears in Greenland and Denmark that he will look north as well as south. The U.S. has not dropped its desire to assert Greenland for its strategic position in the Arctic, as well as the natural resources that are becoming more accessible as its ice melts due to global warming.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea. Yang lain? Oh, sudah selesai. Sedikit lagi. Ada yang mau baca? Kayaknya harus dipanggil nggak sih? Tapi agak susah ya.
Mau Kak.
Boleh.
The Maduro itu.
Yes.
The Maduro operation.
Ini.
Okay. The Maduro operation also amounts to another serious blow to the idea that the best way to run the world is to follow an agreed set of rules, as laid out in international law. The idea was tattered before Donald Trump took office, but he has already demonstrated repeatedly, both in the US and internationally, that he believes he can ignore laws he doesn't like. European allies, who are desperate not to anger him, including Prime Minister Keir Starmer, are wrestling with ways to say that they support the idea of international law without condemning the fact that the Maduro operation is a blatant violation of the Charter of the United Nations. The U.S. justification that is that its military was simply aiding the execution of an arrest warrant of a drug lord masquerading as Venezuela's president is then, especially given Trump's declarations that the U.S. will now control the country and its oil industry. A few hours before Maduro and his wife were seized, he met Chinese diplomats at his place in Caracas. China condemned the U.S. action. It said hegemonic acts of the U.S. seriously violate international law and Venezuela's sovereignty. They threaten peace and security in Latin America and Caribbean region. The U.S. should stop violating the other countries' sovereignty and security. Even so, China might see a precedent set by the U.S. action. It regards Taiwan as a breakaway province and has declared that returning it to control of Beijing is a national priority. In Washington, that is certainly the fear of the Democratic Chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Senator Mark Warner. He issued a statement saying Chinese leaders and others will be watching closely. If the United States uh, asserts the right to use military force to invade and capture foreign leaders it accuses of criminal conduct. What prevents China from claiming the same authority over Taiwan's leadership? What stops Russian President Vladimir Putin from asserting similar justification to abduct Ukraine's president? Once this line is crossed, the rules that restrain global chaos begin to collapse. The authoritarian regimes will be the first to exploit it. Donald Trump seems to believe that he makes the rules, and what applies to the U.S. under his command does not mean others can accept the same privilege. But that is not how the world of power works. His action at the start of 2026 point to another 12 months of global turbulence.
Oke, thank you. Udah selesai ya? Selesai. Oh, lihat nih komen tadi masih ada yang nanya-nanya ya. Terus dapat jawab. Thank you Dava udah menjelaskan. Jadi gimana nih teman-teman? Udah kan ada 10 kosakata baru? Sebenarnya aku pengen kayak nanya gitu, apa kayak inti dari literasi ini, kayak biasa kita literasi bahasa Indonesia. Tapi kayaknya ya, ini lumayan agak berat, topiknya juga agak berat nih ya. Jadi kayaknya nggak usah deh, 10 kosakata aja, nanti aku panggil. Mau ada yang volunteer dulu, apa mau aku sebut-sebutin satu-satu?
Aku mau, Kak.
Boleh.
Aku dapat 11.
Oke, good job.
Oke, pertama, assembled itu dirakit atau dikumpulkan. Contohnya, the workers assembled the furniture quickly. Yang kedua, implication. Kak, ini nggak apa-apa belum aku tulis.
Nggak apa-apa. Nanti kamu jelasin semua.
Oke.
Nanti aku
yang
buka
kedua,
di GCR, dikumpulin.
Oke. Kedua, implication. Implication itu implikasi atau akibat. Contohnya, This decision has serious implication for the economy. Ketiga ada foreign policy atau kebijakan luar negeri. Contohnya ada the government foreign policy focus on trade agreements. Terus keempat ada dismiss atau dipecat atau ditolak. Contohnya ada the teacher dismiss the class early. Yang kelima ada inability atau ketidakmampuan. Contohnya ada his inability to focus affect his grades. Keenam ada oppose atau menentang. Contohnya ada many people oppose the new law. Yang ketujuh ada wrestling atau gugat. Contohnya ada the wrestler won the match after wrestling his opponent to the ground. 8 ada COVIDs. Benar nggak Kak bacanya?
Apa tulisannya COVID?
COVIDs. C-O-V. COVIDs.
Ya, COVID.
Cov. Artinya mengingini. Contohnya she covet her neighbor beautiful garden. 9 ada tethered. Benar nggak Kak?
Apa?
Tethered. T-A-T-T-E-R-E-D.
Tethered.
Tethered.
Artinya?
Compang-camping atau usang.
Tethered.
Contohnya, the old flag was tethered from years old wine. Win. Yang ke-10 ada enforce atau menegakkan. Contohnya the police enforce traffic rules strictly. Yang terakhir ada reverberate bergema.
Reverberate? Breathe apa breath?
Reverberate.
Ya, oke, lanjut aja.
Contohnya the thunder reverberate through the mountains.
Oke. 11 ya?
Sudah.
Oh, udah selesai. Oke, good job Maria. Thank you so much. Nah, bagi teman-teman baru gabung, jadi kayak gitu ya contohnya, setiap ada literasi ketemu aku. Itu. Karena nanti kalian di literasi bahasa Inggris, lumayan berat bahasanya. Jadi kalian dipastikan setiap ketemu aku tuh harus membaca literasi dan tulis kosakatanya gitu. Karena siapa tahu gitu kalian apa yang kalian tulis gitu kosakata baru nanti keluar di UTBK nanti. Jadi ketika UTBK kalian tinggal baca cepet aja tanpa tahu kayak ini artinya apa ya. Aduh jadinya kalian bingung soalnya terus salah jawabnya malah ngasal. Jadi gitu fungsinya biar kalian bagus lah literasinya nilainya. Jadi itu wajib ya hukumnya. Nanti aku buka di Google Classroom dan kalian tinggal kumpulin tugasnya. Oke, selanjutnya. Apakah ada yang udah?
Aku, Kak.
Oke, boleh Andrea.
Oke, jadi aku yang pertama itu judicious, yaitu bijaksana dalam mengambil keputusan. Dan contohnya itu adalah a judicious use of resources will ensure the project success. Yang kedua, govern, mengendalikan jalannya pemerintahan. Dan contohnya itu ada the laws that govern our country must be fair. Yang ketiga ada browbeat, yang artinya mengancam atau menindas seseorang dengan kata-kata atau perilaku kasar agar mereka melakukan sesuatu. Contohnya ada the witness refused to be browbeaten into changing her story. Yang keempat ada compliance, yang artinya tindakan mematuhi perintah, aturan, dan hukum atau hukum. Contohnya ada the company is in full compliance with safety regulation. Dan yang kelima ada incarceration yang berarti kondisi di penjara atau dikurung dalam sel. Dan contohnya adalah the judge sentenced him to 5 years of incarceration. Yang keenam ada assertion atau pernyataan yang kuat atau pernyataan yang kuat dan tegas. Contohnya, he made an assertion that the economy would improve next year. Yang ketujuh ada reverberate, yang artinya secara bergema atau berdampak luas. Contohnya ada the news of the scandal will reverberate throughout the city. Dan yang ke-8 ada triumphalist, yaitu kemenangan yang berlebihan. Contohnya ada the leader's triumphalist speech annoyed many people. Yang ke-9 ada regime,
Regime.
regime yang artinya sistem pemerintahan. Contohnya ada the old regime was toppled during the revolution. Yang ke-10 ada catastrophe yang artinya bencana atau malapetaka. Contohnya, the earthquake was a major catastrophe for the region. Oke, Kak. Silakan.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. Really good. Okay, selanjutnya. Yang ketiga, ada 2 contoh temannya nih. Kalau misalnya ketemu kata yang sama, gimana Kak? Nggak apa-apa. Dan aku di sini nggak kayak, apa sih namanya, menyusahkan kalian gitu. Aku tahu kalian Gen Z nggak lepas dari namanya ChatGPT dan lain-lainnya gitu. Kalian bisa kok kayak, kirim linknya ke ChatGPT, terus cari kosakatanya, terus tulislah tugasnya. Tapi lebih baik, memang lebih bagus kalian baca, terus kalian cari kosakata yang kalian nggak tahu artinya gitu. Kalian nggak tahu artinya, kalian artikan. Ya artikannya kalian boleh pakai translate, terus baru boleh pakai ChatGPT gitu. Nanti baru kumpulkan tugasnya gitu. Jadi siapa nih yang mau lagi? Orang ketiga? Aku panggil aja
mau
nih.
Kak.
Oke, Rindi boleh.
Nomor 1, lavishly artinya dengan boros. Kalimatnya, the king spent his money lavishly on the new palace. Yang kedua, violence, kekerasan. Kalimatnya, there was a lot of violence in that film. Yang ketiga, assembled, artinya berkumpul. Kalimatnya, all the students assembled in the hall this morning. Yang keempat, assertion, pernyataan. Kalimatnya, his assertion about the facts was not true. Yang kelima, departure, keberangkatan. Kalimatnya, we were late for our departure to the airport. Yang keenam, reverberate, bergema. Kalimatnya, the sound of the explosion reverberated through the valley. Yang ketujuh, triumphalist, pemenang. Kalimatnya, the team's triumphalist celebration was short-lived as the other team applied the result. Yang ke-8, misery, penderitaan. Kalimatnya, the war brought untold misery to millions of people. Yang ke-9, predecessor, pendahulu. Kalimatnya,
The new president continued the work of his predecessor. Yang ke-10, enriched, diperkaya. Kalimatnya, the experience of traveling has enriched his insight.
Oke, thank you Rindy. Nanti jangan lupa dikumpulin ya tugas sedikitnya. Oke, yang lain?
Kak mau, Kak.
Boleh, abis ini laki-laki ya, nggak ada laki-laki. Laki-laki selain Dava. Dava terus. Boleh Karisa?
Tapi sebelumnya izin off cam ya, Kak, soalnya jaringannya jelek tuh patah-patah.
Oke.
Oke, yang pertama itu ada raid, itu operasi serangan mendadak. Contoh kalimatnya, the police carried out a raid early in the morning. Yang kedua itu authoritarian atau otoriter. Contoh kalimatnya, authoritarian governments often limit freedom of speech. Yang ketiga itu implication, implikasi kayak konsekuensi atau dampak yang mungkin terjadi. Contoh kalimatnya itu, the new law has serious implication for human rights. Yang ketiga itu seizure, kayak penyitaan atau penangkapan paksa. Contoh kalimatnya, the government ordered the seizure of illegal assets. Yang kelima itu demonstrated, menunjukkan atau memperlihatkan. Contoh kalimatnya, the leader demonstrated strong control of the military. Yang keenam, unilateral atau sepihak. Contoh kalimatnya, the country took unilateral action without consulting others. Yang ketujuh, foreign policy, itu kayak kebijakan luar negeri. Contoh kalimatnya, foreign policy plays an important role in international relations. Yang ke-8, sovereignty atau kedaulatan, itu contoh kalimatnya, every nation has the right to protect its sovereignty. Yang ke-9, intervention atau campur tangan. Itu contoh kalimatnya, international intervention may increase tensions between countries. Yang ke-11, legitimasi atau keabsahan atau pengakuan sah secara hukum atau politik. Contoh kalimatnya, the leader questioned the legitimacy of the election result. Ya, Kak.
Oke, thank you Karisa. Yang lain? Siapa nih yang laki-laki? Tapi bentar dulu guys. Aku cari nih laki-laki. Siapa ya laki-laki ya? Hamdan nih, ada nggak Hamdan? Hamdan. Halo Hamdan? Are you there, Hamdan? Hamdan Al-Baihaqi. Hamdan. Halo Hamdan. Kok ada yang namanya Minyonggi dah? Ini saya cowok dah.
Maaf Kak, itu masih belum bisa diganti.
Oh, kok cewek? Oke.
Iya.
Hamdan
Jangan
itu
lupa
nggak
diganti ya, nanti absennya.
nanti di absen.
Iya, soalnya masih error Kak. Belum bisa diganti.
Ya,
Oke. Tiba-tiba ada
Suga.
geng BTS. Iya, ada Suga guys, kaget. Hamdan itu ada suaranya Hamdan ya? Hamdan, halo? Hamdan.
Halo.
Ya. Oh iya, Hamdan. Ayo, Hamdan. 10 kosakata baru.
Kata itu across atau menyebar atau ke seluruh. Nah, kalimatnya the news spreads across the country. Yang kedua, seizure atau kejang. Kalimatnya he had seizure during the night. Yang ketiga, judicious atau bijaksana. Kalimatnya he made a judicious the decision. Nah, yang keempat, secretary atau sekretaris. Kalimatnya the secretary answered the phone. Nah, yang kelima, gracious atau ramah. Kalimatnya she gave a gracious smile. Nah, yang keenam, govern atau memerintah. Kalimatnya the president govern the country. Yang ketujuh, evidence atau bukti. Kalimatnya there is no evidence to support the claim. Nah, yang ke-8, faction atau faksi-faksi. Kalimatnya the party was divided into faction. Yang ke-9, departure atau keberangkatan. Kalimatnya departure time is 8 am. Yang terakhir, achieving atau mencapai. Kalimatnya he is achieving his goal step by step. Udah, Kak?
Oke, thank you Hindan. Selanjutnya aku mau denger dari Arif. Tadi Arif ada ya? Arif. Halo Arif.
Hadir. Ada suara saya
Ya,
nggak, Kak?
ada.
Satu, remarkable, luar biasa. Contohnya adalah remarkable news. Lalu yang kedua ada enormous, sangat besar. Contohnya adalah enormous implication. Lalu ada judicious, bijaksana. Judicious transition. Lalu yang keempat ada apa ini, lupa. Praised lavishly. Apa ini? Lupa saya nulis. Dipuji berlebihan.
Oke.
Contohnya adalah praised lavishly at Mar-a-Lago. Lalu ada browbeat, yaitu menggertak. Contohnya browbeat Latin American leaders. Lalu ada evidence, bukti. Contoh kalimatnya adalah the evidence that it will not be easy. 7 ada violence, kekerasan. Contohnya adalah violence and instability in Venezuela. Nomor 8, incarceration, pengurungan. Incarceration of Nicolas Maduro. Yang 9 ada assertion, penegasan. Contohnya adalah assertion of American military. Yang ke-10 ada assembled, disatukan. Contohnya adalah the US assembled a massive armada.
Oke, udah. 10 tuh.
Udah, Kak?
Oke, thank you Arif. Ini kayaknya
Ya.
ya laki-laki tuh sedikit banget ya. Kayaknya ada 5 orang doang nih. Arif. 1. 2 Dava. 3 Hamdan. 4 Michael. 5 Mursid. Udah 5 doang.
Kak.
Siapa?
Dwi.
Dwi, yang mana tuh?
Itu Dwi, Kak. Nggak tahu deh, cewek cowok.
Dwi Fitya Aprilia, cewek.
Biasanya ada si Andreas tuh, Andreas.
Oh iya, Andreas ya.
Oh iya, Mikael mana?
Udah ada
Michael.
Kenapa?
Jangan Michael. Mursid deh, Mursid.
Ya,
Halo, Mursid. Boleh, 10 kosakatanya. Udah selesai belum?
udah Kak.
Oke.
Kalau saya pertama ada arrive. Terus contohnya direct escape or at night or to avoid public attention. Yang kedua, presiden. Legal experts warned that the action could set a dangerous precedent. Yang ketiga, authoritarian. The decision was faced by authoritarian leaders in several countries. 4. Education. The move has serious implications for international relations. 5. Authorities attempt to seize control of key government facilities. 6. Worldwide. The incident sparked action from leaders worldwide. 7. Military force critics argued the military force should be a last resort. 8. Diplomacy was sided in favor of aggressive tactics. 9. Global police analysts fear the move could reshape global police norms. Terakhir, international law. Many question whether the operation violate international law. Ya, Kak.
Oke, thank you Mersit. Oke,
Ya,
karena udah 21.20, kita sudahkan. Kita mau bahas tryout. Sebelum kita bahas, aku mau nanya dulu nih, gimana tadi tryoutnya? Susah apa gampang?
Nggak ingat jujur.
Gak ingat.
Ya begitulah Kak.
Tapi gimana nilainya? Ini udah aku kasih easy banget guys. Easy. Nggak sesusah kemarin. Gimana? Kemarin sesuai UTBK ya? 30 soal ya? 20
Kalau Kak mah easy terus.
Kenapa Linda?
Kalau sama Kakak mah easy terus dibilang.
Easy guys. Maksudnya kalau dibanding sama kemarin, kemarin tuh enggak ya, kemarin tuh bahas punya Kanasha justru yang susah. Yang punya aku yang gampang, tryout kemarin tuh gak aku bahas. Masih gampang guys, jujur. Daripada maksudnya kalian udah pernah kayak tryout di kayak Sainsin, Pamify gitu, udah pernah belum?
Belum kok.
Belum. Nah, levelnya susahnya, maksudnya susahan mereka daripada tugas tryout yang aku kasih. Maksudnya levelnya masih di bawah guys, masih bisa kalian kerjain kok. Masih easy. Jadi aku nggak bohong guys, kalau misalnya aku bilang easy, benar-benar easy. Gampang guys. Oke. Masih sama loh guys. Kemarin berapa soal sih? 20 soal ya? 20 soal doang. Tapi kayak kelihatan gak sih bener berapa? Apa kayak langsung nilainya aja? Yang dikasih tahu.
Langsung nilai.
Oh, langsung nilai.
Itulah masih nggak ada solusinya kayaknya buat itu.
Ya, belum ini ya, belum dibenerin. Masih gampang kok. Yang true false juga nggak ada deh. Terus table yang cerita itu, table diskusi orang gitu nggak ada guys. It pure literasi aja. Mungkin akan susah kalau kalian yang nggak pernah ngerjain tugas aku, jarang literasi, jadi susah menurut kalian. Oke. Ini ada berapa nih? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ada 5 paragraf. Ayo guys, aktif. Siapa yang mau baca?
Aku Kak.
Boleh. Langsung teks 1.
Experts have expressed their concern that the country could lose its opportunity to reap benefits from the so-called demographic dividend unless the government invested more in projects to improve human resource capital. While the other fast-growing economies in the region, including China and Japan, face a growing population, Indonesia is blessed with 16% of its 214 million people being under 13 years age. Indonesia is expected to reap the benefits of a young population until 2012 ya Kak.
25.
After which the trend will reverse and the population start to age. The government should really focus on improving the quality of our human resource to create high employment and productivity during the peak period of this demographic situation. The Bandung Institute of Technology researcher Haryo Winarso said recently. Public policy expert Sofyan Effendi said the demographic dividend, which should be reaped between 2012 and 2013, would allow Indonesia to have a massive, young, productive labor force with a low dependency ratio of 44, ya kayak
Mhm.
44%. However, the main problem is that Indonesia lacks skilled and effective workers, he said. According to a 2012 survey conducted by the Base International Institute for Management Development in five 15 59 countries around the world, Indonesia ranked as one of the lowest in terms of human resource productivity. The survey also reported that most Indonesian workers toiled for long hours but only produce small gains. The survey reveals that most workers in Indonesia are junior high school graduates with low levels of efficiency and knowledge, he said. Anies Baswedan, the founder of Indonesia Mengajar, Indonesia Teaches, a foundation that sends top university graduates to teach in the country's remote areas, said the demographic dividend could also be a cause due to problems in the country's educational system.
Okay, number one. Baca
Number
soalnya.
one, from the reading above, we learn that demographic dividend is.
Oke, thank you udah baca. Sebelumnya, tanpa judul, apa kira-kira yang dibahas di tulisan ini? Ada yang menyampaikan? Jadi temannya udah membaca. Apa yang disampaikan di teksnya? Jangan sampai kalian baca dari awal sampai akhir, kalian nggak tahu apa yang disampaikan dari teks ini. Ya, teman-teman. Ada yang tahu? Apa masih membaca? Aku tungguin sampai ada yang jawab. Karena takutnya kalian nggak baca kan, kalian hanya nyimak temennya membaca. Biasanya kalau di bahasa Indonesia, nggak sih bahasa Indonesia doang nih. Biasanya di literasi, biasanya ada di paragraf mana tuh? Kalau misalnya udah ketahuan dia bahas apa? Di awal paragraf. Oke, jadi bahas apa nih?
SDM gitu bukan, Kak?
Terus, experts have expressed their concern that the country could lose its opportunity to reap benefits from the so-called demographic dividend unless the government invested more in projects to improve human resource capital. While the other fast-growing economies in the region, including China and Japan, fast-growing population, Indonesia is blessed with 60% of its 240 million people being under 30 years age. Nah, itu aja. Intinya dia ngebahas apa tuh? Lose its opportunity to reap benefits from so-called demographic dividend unless the government invests more in projects to improve human resource capital. Nah, seperti itu. Ayo guys, gak mau pakai translate. Yang penting kalian jelasin apa artinya. Apa yang dijelaskan di teksnya.
Pemerintah tuh kehilangan kesempatan.
Kalau
Kayak apa? Berinvestasinya lebih banyak dalam proyek-proyek buat ningkatin
apa tuh?
human resource capital itu apa Indonya?
Human resource capital.
Berdaya manusia?
Ya, sebenarnya. Iya, betul. Ya, SDM betul tadi kayak kata siapa tadi yang jawab ya? Itu terlalu singkat. Aku tuh pengen kalian menjelaskannya agak panjang gitu, guys. Oke, intinya itu ya, guys. Ini kalian tahu di paragraf pertama dia ngomongin apa, biasanya di paragraf-paragraf selanjutnya lebih ke detail-detailnya. Yang penting kalian tahu apa yang bakal dibahas. Setelah kalian kayak baca kan cepet ya, kalian baca cepet. Oh, di paragraf ini bahasa ini. Oh, di paragraf ketiga bahasa ini. Jadi cepet, guys. Karena untuk literasi itu 20 soal, satu soal tuh sekitar kayaknya 1 menitan lah. Tapi kayak nanti UTBK itu literasinya nggak bakal sependek ini, guys. Satu paragraf itu lebih panjang lagi dan bahasanya kemungkinan akan lebih berat lagi, guys. Kalau di bahasa Inggris kan ada level A1, A2, B1, B2 ya. Kalau menurut aku ya nanti literasi bahasa Inggris itu nanti UTBK kayaknya di level antara B2 deh. Kalau C1, C2 itu udah level expert. Kayak pastinya kayak orang asli sana gitu. Like their mother tongue, tapi kalau misalnya untuk TBK itu kayak B1, B2 dan itu udah in the middle, guys, udah lumayan agak susah. Jadi kalau kalian memang jarang untuk literasi, wah, assalamualaikum aja sama nilai literasi kalian, literasi bahasa Inggris. Oke. Number 1, from the reading above we learn the demographic dividend is, nah kemarin aku juga kasih tahu caranya gimana ya. Kalau misalnya kalian nggak tahu artinya, seenggaknya kalian tahu kata kunci nomor 1 ini apa yang ditanyain. Yang ditanyain adalah demographic dividend. Kursor aku kelihatan nggak ya, guys? Gerak-gerak nggak ya?
Kelihatan, Kak.
Kelihatan kan? Demographic dividend. Nah, di paragraf sini kalian cari tentang apa sih demographic dividend ini. Tanpa kalian harus tahu artinya, yang penting kalian tahu intinya apa yang ditanyakan dan di teksnya itu apa yang dijelasin ya, kalian juga bisa harus tahu gitu. Jadi apa nih? Udah ada yang bisa jawab nomor 1? Kata Michael. Michael nomor 1A. Ada di paragraf mana tuh, Michael? In the reading above, we learn that demographic dividend is blah 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 blah. Ini coba kalian baca. Dan untuk di literasi bahasa Inggris ini UTBK, misalnya kalian udah ketemu nih, terus opsinya tuh nggak seperti apa yang di teks. Nah itu tuh kayak lebih ke diganti sinonimnya gitu, guys. Dan itu kalian juga harus mengerti. Terus gimana, Kak? Aku nggak ngerti. Ya mau nggak mau kalian harus ngerti, guys, artinya. Tapi mengerti artinya nggak harus semuanya, guys. Makanya beberapa aja gitu. Adakah yang bisa menjawab? Masa Michael doang yang bisa jawab? Di paragraf mana nih dia menjawab? Padahal tadi udah aku tanya, guys. Sudah aku baca, udah kalian baca. Kafiran paragraf 1, paragraf 3. From the reading above, we learn that demographic dividend. 1, 2, 3, public. Okay, dividend which should be reaped between 2020 and 2030 will allow Indonesia to have a massive young productive labor. Oke, so jadi jawabannya apa kalau sama paragraf 3? Guys, kenapa diem-diem aja? Ketik 1 kalau menyerah, guys. Baru nomor 1 sudah menyerah. Ayolah, semangat. Gimana, Dava? Sim aja, Dava. Apa nih?
Aku
lebih. Ayo guys, gimana guys? Apakah masih loading?
aku A.
Okay, when Indonesia could benefit from its productive labor force. Okay.
Aku dapat dari paragraf ke 3, 4. The main purpose that
Ini paragraf ke-3. Oke, betul ya. From the reading above, we learn that demographic dividend is, kita baca ya, public policy expert Sofyan Effendi said the demographic dividend which should be reaped between 2020 and 2030 would allow the nation to have a massive, young, productive labor force with a low dependency ratio of 44%. However, the main problem is that Indonesia lacks skilled and effective workers, he said. Di jawabannya A, when Indonesia could be benefit from its productive labor force. Gitu. Okay, number 2. To be able to reap from its people, the article tells us the Indonesian government should dari artikel ini pemerintah Indonesia harus apa? The Indonesian government should
C.
Kelihatan ya, invest more on its massive young potential human resources. Okay, good job guys. Okay, number 3. The 2012 survey says that Indonesia belongs to the group of countries with the lowest productivity due to short. Guys, number 3.
B.
Low level of efficiency compared to the other countries. Di paragraf mana tuh? Dia jelasin ya. Paragraf ke B kata dia ada yang B, low level education on the average. Nah, ini juga ada tipsnya guys. Kalau misalnya di soal udah ditulis nih tanggal tahunnya nih 2012. Jadi kita lihat aja. Nah, di paragraf mana nih? Di paragraf ke-4. According to 2012 survey conducted by the Swiss-based International Institute for Management Development in 59 countries around the world, Indonesia ranked as one of the lowest in terms of human resource productivity. The survey also reported that most Indonesian workers toiled for long hours, but one only produced small gains. Okay. Tuh, jadi apa guys jawabannya guys? 3, 2, 2. Bebareng lagi D. Low level of efficiency compared to that of other countries. Itu nanti boleh ditulis ya guys. Nanti filenya aku kasih kok di WhatsApp. Okay, number 4. It is said that the major problem that could slow Indonesia to have demographic dividend is masalah that could slow Indonesia to have demographic dividend is apa inti masalahnya tuh? Siapa yang jawab? Eh, the big problem remains under the channel. Coba guys, baca lagi. Sebenarnya paragraf mana tuh? Ini ya, paragraf akhir ya. The survey reveals that the most workers in Indonesia are junior high school graduates with low levels of efficiency and knowledge, he said. Anies Baswedan, the founder of Indonesia Mengajar, initially teaches a foundation that sends top university graduates to teach in the country's remote areas, said the demographic dividend could also be cursed due to problem in the country educational system. Jadi intinya, jawabannya adalah kok ada dua ya? Follow, wait, follow left. So, okay, yeah. Most workers are junior high school graduates or less. Okay, number 5. Choose the most appropriate conclusion for the above articles. Conclusion dari teksnya, guys. Nomor 5. Ayo guys, aktif guys. Jangan takut salah guys. Nggak diketawain kok enggak. Bulan B.
B, Kak.
Oke.
C.
Tuh ada yang jawab C, ada yang jawab B. Nomor 5. Kata dia C.
Aku C.
Okay, yes, guys. Jawabannya C. Demographic dividend if only the massive young potential isn't a good qualification. Okay. Nah, guys, aku juga mau ngasih tahu kalau ini kenapa aku bilang gampang karena dia tuh topiknya masih topik apa ya, nggak berat-berat banget, guys. Kayak tadi literasi contoh yang berat tuh kayak literasi yang tadi aku kasih. Udah bahasanya juga udah high level banget. Dan itu biasanya kita nggak pernah tahu ya, nanti kalian UTBK-nya gimana, kan ada aja ya gebrakannya. Pendidikan kita levelnya juga beda-beda, nggak bisa setiap tahun itu sama, guys. Biasanya setiap tahun itu susah, itu guys. Jadi kalian bersiap-siap lah. Jadi kalian harusnya jadi yang susah-susah dulu. Jadi ngelihat UTBK yang susah, yang kemungkinan susahnya susah aja, karena kalian terbiasa dengan ngerjain soal yang susah banget gitu. Kalian kalau misalnya ada soal yang kalian pengen tanyain, itu kalian boleh guys PC aku, nanya-nanya aku, diskusi sama aku. Kalian juga bisa kayak teleponan, diskusi sama aku juga boleh. Tapi ya tanya dulu Kak, jam segini kalau misalnya aku mau nanya-nanya soal diskusi boleh nggak? Boleh banget guys. Kalian boleh banget. Boleh WA free guys. Oke, teks 2. Ada yang mau baca? Volunteer. Hai guys.
Aku Kak, aku.
Baca. Boleh.
Baik. Semuanya kan Kak?
Yep.
Okay, it is a sad state of affairs when we learn from the print and electronic media that many skinny children in many places in Indonesia are lying helplessly with bloated bellies in severely malnourished condition. Ironically, we also have learned from the same print and electronic media reports about massive graft involving huge amount of money perpetrated perpetrated by smartly dressed smudge officials. It will not be an odd thing if there are some people who question whether or not these smartly dressed or smug corruptors who hold office in government and legislative agency have ever learned of these cases of malnutrition, bloated bellies, and poverty, which are rampant in this country. It seems that these people have lost fraction of their con sorry, of their apa tadi?
What's it called?
Of their conscience to take pity of their fellow creatures that have been beset by such misfortune. These people should have realized that their disgusting corruption has sent many of their fellow countrymen to the abyss of poverty. Unfortunately, in reality, these smartly dressed people are living in a luxurious life and often spending their time and money abroad. Meanwhile, many of their fellow countrymen live in abject poverty. Don't they feel embarrassed? It is a sad state of affairs when we learn from the print and electronic media that many skinny children in many places in Indonesia are lying helplessly.
Okay. Okay, thank you Andrea. Oke, guys, jadi sebelum ke pertanyaan, ayo, apa yang dikatakan di teksnya, guys? It is a sad state of affairs when we learn from the print and electronic media that many skinny children in many places in Indonesia are lying helplessly with bloated bellies. Okay, in severely malnourished conditions, ironically, we also have learned from the same print and electronic media reports about massive graft involving huge amounts of money perpetrated by smartly dressed, smug officials. Nah, paragraf 1 dia ngomong apa tuh, guys? Dia bahas apa? Ayo, guys.
Dia tuh membahas tentang bagaimana anak-anak maupun kondisi masyarakat di Indonesia itu tuh masih berada dalam kemiskinan, tingkat kemiskinan tuh begitu besar. Dan di sini juga dibilang bahwa di sisi lain ada para koruptor-koruptor yang udah hidupnya mewah, mengambil pula mengambil hasil dari rakyat. Jadi harusnya itu koruptor-koruptor itu sadar bahwa aksi mereka itu merugikan masyarakat di Indonesia. Ya itulah yang aku dapatkan.
Oke, yes, betul Andrea. Di paragraf 1 juga nih. That many skinny children in many places in Indonesia are lying helplessly with bloated bellies. Bloated bellies tuh yang kayak gembung gitu, guys, karena mungkin kebanyakan makanan yang bergas kayak ubi, sagu gitu-gitu, guys. Jadi dan itu terus tapi badannya kurus-kurus gitu, guys. Ya intinya gitu. Tentang government juga. Betul tadi Andrea. Sangat relate ya sama keadaan Indonesia kita sekarang. Okay. Number 1, it is sad state of affairs when we learn from the print and electronic media that many skinny children in many places in Indonesia are lying helplessly. The part of text is called the blah 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 blah. Explanation kah? Deskripsi, identifikasi, tesis, Pak Ivan. Ya.
C maybe.
Apa?
C maybe.
Sequence of explanation.
Identification C,
Oh, yes.
Charlie.
Kata dia tesis. Ini balik lagi guys ke Indonesia. Apa bedanya deskripsi sama identifikasi? Ayo, itu balik lagi ke bahasa Indonesia. Description. Apa bedanya sama identification? Ayo guys. Bisa jawab nggak? Apa bedanya description sama identification? Deskripsi sama identifikasi. Bisa jawab? Ini bahasa Indonesia kemungkinan juga ada guys. Pertanyaan seperti ini. Karena aku bilang biasanya opsi kita itu kan apa sih? Kita lihat opsinya. Kalau misalnya emang jawaban begitu kita eliminasi. Dan biasanya ada jawaban yang 11-12. Carilah yang 12 guys yang mendekati. Cuma nggak susah karena mereka kembar ya 11-12. Description and identification. Berarti A, B, dan E buang. Guys, tahu nggak bedanya apa? Ada yang bisa menjawab? Description sama identification. Ayo. Perbedaan keduanya apa? 11-12 guys.
Kalau deskripsi mah buat ke benda, identifikasi mah buat ke kejadian, buat situasi.
Enggak sih, deskripsi juga bisa kok.
Iya.
Misalnya ini deskripsi, ini setik, ya bisa juga guys.
Iya, itu nggak bisa identifikasi sticknya enggak.
Oke, deskripsi lebih ke ciri-ciri. Oke.
Deskripsi lebih spesifik nggak sih, Kak? Kalau identifikasi itu kayak gambaran umum.
Iya, betul. Nah, seperti itu. Jadi, ini apa nih? Dia spesifik apa enggak, guys? It is a sad state of affairs when we learn from the print electronic made the many skinny children in many places in Indonesia lying helplessly. Jawabannya deskripsi, betul, guys. Kalau jawabannya yang B, deskripsi. Karena dia ngasih tahu, maybe the many skinny children in many places in Indonesia lying helplessly. Gitu. Dia ngasih tahu detailnya. Anak-anak Indonesia itu dia kenapa? Mereka tiduran, tidak berdaya, lying helplessly. Gitu. Okay. Number 7. What is the purpose of the above text? Iya, tujuannya apa guys? To tell the reader that there are many corruptors in Indonesia, atau persuade the government official to stop corruption, to persuade corruptors to donate their money to the people, to the poor, atau D, to explain the process of the corruption. Terus E, to describe Indonesia corruptors. 7E. Oke, describe. To describe Indonesia corruptors. Yang lain? Terus kemarin aku juga sering bilang nih, kalau misalnya teman-teman yang lama nih, jangan kalau kayak gini jawabannya jangan cari yang terlalu mengkerucut, terlalu itu banget guys. Harus cari yang menyeluruh. Karena dia tujuannya apa nih, purpose-nya apa di dalam teksnya. Yes, betul guys. Jawabannya A guys. Tadi ada yang jawab E, to describe Indonesia koruptor. Nah, kalau misalnya jawabannya Indonesia, to describe Indonesia koruptor, berarti kayak untuk mendeskripsikan koruptor-koruptor Indonesia, teksnya semuanya itu gak bakal kayak gini guys. Dijelasinnya bukan kayak tentang gimana Indonesia, pasti semuanya ini tentang koruptor, baru jawabannya to describe Indonesia corruptors. Tapi kalau purpose itu to tell the reader that are many corruptors in Indonesia, pasti disebutnya pasti di teksnya juga udah jelas, pasti kayak ngasih tahu ke Anda Indonesia gimana style korupsi dan lain-lainnya guys. Jadi gitu jawabannya. Bukan E. Kalau E itu to describe Indonesia koruptor, kayak khusus ke koruptornya aja akan jelasin ya, karena kan di teksnya itu dijelaskan kondisi Indonesianya. Jadi jawabannya A. To tell the reader that there are many corruptors in Indonesia. Gitu. Oke, nomor 8. Ini kayaknya salah deh. Ironically, we also have learned from the same print and electronic media, the word we refers to, maksudnya we, kita tuh apa nih? We also have learned from the same print and electronic media. Maksudnya kita tuh siapa? The button centers. Yang lain, kenapa yang jawab sedikit banget, guys? Misalnya ya. Oke guys, yang lain gimana jawabannya? Kalau misalnya jawabannya sama, tetap guys ditulis biar aku tahu kayak respon kalian tuh gimana. Jawabannya gimana guys? Yang lain? We also have learned from the same print and electronic media reports about massive grafts involving huge amounts of money perpetrated by smartly dressed and smug officials. Maksudnya kita atau siapa guys? The readers and the writers. Yes, betul guys. Jawabannya D. Baca dan penulis. Betul, jawabannya D. Jawabannya D, guys. Oke. Nomor 9. Sebentar lagi bikin 10. This part of the text is called these people should have realized that their disgusting corruption has sent many of their fellow countrymen to a abyss of poverty. Ini apa nih? Ini ngasih tahu, ini tuh reorientation, conclusions, atau reiteration, kode, apa-apa guys, atau recommendation. Conclusion kah?
Kalau aku recommendation sih, Kak.
Recommendation, oke.
Iya.
Ada yang tahu kode artinya apa? Kode
Pesan gitu bukan kode.
Kode tuh penutup gitu guys. Yang lain gimana? Ayo guys, jangan diam-diam saja. Aku nggak tahu nih, kalian yang on cam juga berapa orang. Aku nggak bisa lihat lagi. Ayo guys, gimana?
Aku juga recommendation gitu kalau nggak salah.
Recommendation. Oh iya, oke. The people should have, karena ada should-nya ya, ada kata should-nya. Tapi kita harus baca lagi guys. The people should have realized that their disgusting corruption has sent many of their fellow countrymen to a abyss of poverty. Sebenarnya ya jawabannya. Tapi di sini, maksudnya ini tuh dia kasih tahu bagiannya guys, bukanlah titik-titik nih guys, titik-titik. Maksudnya dalam satu paragraf itu bukan khusus tulisan ini aja. Jadi itu tuh bagiannya apa? Kayak bahasa Indonesia kayak pertama apa, tengah apa, akhir tuh apa, gitu guys. Ini termasuk conclusion kah? Reiteration kah? Itu guys, lebih ke ini bagian apa gitu. Bukan recommendation guys. Adakah itu bagian recommendation? Jangan bercancel guys. This part of the text is called the reorientation. Okay. Yang lain?
B.
Pokoknya salah guys, jawaban itu koda di tanda di kunci jawabannya juga koda guys. Jadi koda itu penutup. Penutup yang memberikan itu kesimpulan, lebih kesimpulan. Itu conclusion juga. Ini sebenarnya agak mengecoh juga, bisa aku pas lihat jawaban oh ini conclusion. Ternyata enggak guys, jawabannya A, penutup koda. Gitu. Oke, tinggal 1 menit lagi guys. Apakah disudahkan aja? Udah mau jam 10. Apa masih sanggup untuk satu soal lagi, satu cerita lagi? Guys, voting guys. Udah jam 10 guys. Gimana? Dava jempol aja, jawabannya apa nih? Mau lanjut kah? Masih satu cerita apa gimana?
Ceritanya sih tentang HP ya.
Sampai habis kata Michael. Michael belum katuk. Les cerita kah? Oke. Les ketiga les ya guys. Oke, boleh deh Dava kalau gitu baca deh. Nanti ngasih tahu ya.
Boleh.
Bahas apa? Oke.
Everywhere you go nowadays, you see people using mobile phones, from school children to retired people. You see them talking in a supermarket, on the trains, in the street, everywhere. So what are the advantages of mobile phones? First of all, they are very convenient because you can phone nearly anywhere. Another advantage is that they are really useful in emergency situations. For example, if you are alone in your car and it breaks down, you can get help quickly. In addition, you can also use your mobile to text to or connect to internet. However, there are disadvantages such as the cost. Mobile phones calls cost more than a normal calls. Furthermore, it can be annoying if you are in a train or a bus and you have to listen to someone else boring conversation. Another disadvantage is that people can contact you anywhere at any time unless you switch off your phone off. In conclusion, there are both advantages and disadvantages of mobile phones. Personally, I feel mobile phones are a good thing because they give us more freedom and make communication easier.
Oke, so apa? Dia ngomong apa?
What is the text about? The good and bad side of mobile phones.
Ya, langsung tahu ya, 10 jawabannya apa? What is the text about? Ya, betul. Jawabannya deh guys. The good and bad sides of mobile phones. Okay. Thank you, Dava.
Same.
Okay, nomor 11. What is the purpose of the text? Purpose-nya apa, guys?
Jawab kawan-kawan.
Apa? To discuss, to explain, to describe, to entertain, kritik. Tadi yes, jawabannya to discuss an issue from 2 different point of view, POV. Oke, nomor 12. Why are mobile phones very convenient? Ini gampang banget, guys. Coba gimana nggak aku bilang easy, guys? Ini masih topik-topik anak-anak banget. 12 apa, guys? Yes. Betul. 12A. We can phone from almost every place. 13. Ini juga kayak soal cerita yang kalian nggak harus baca semuanya. Kalian juga tahu jawabannya, guys. 13 nih. Why can mobile phones sometimes annoy us?
C.
Loh, di teks apa?
Ada juga tuh disebut people kan.
Kan why can mobile sometimes annoy us? Kayak ganggu.
Iya, They're
Yes.
quite expensive.
They're quite expensive. Terus 14. Which of the following is this disadvantage of mobile phones?
It save your time in an emergency situation.
Oh ya cuy, kalian D.
D.
Ya, jawabannya D. It save your time in an emergency situation. Okay, last question. What is the writer's opinion about mobile phone?
B.
Tidak ada lah ya guys. Yes. Wait.
A.
They have the advantage
Salah ya.
and disadvantage.
Tapi dia di bawah. But in my opinion, mobile phones
Wait.
kalimat terakhirnya.
Ya kah?
Personally, I feel mobile phones are a good thing because they give us more freedom and make communication easier.
Iya, tapi jawabannya
dijawab.
jawabannya A guys. Okay, it's done guys. Thank you so much. Semoga yang menjawab tadi nilai LBE-nya 1000.
Amin.
Yang nggak respon semoga diberi hidayah. Oke guys, class is over. Kalau kalian masih mau nanya-nanya boleh guys. Aku. Apakah